This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Yo, what's up? K-Gun Report family, 24/7 BF family. This is Swank. This is season 3, episode 12. Today we are getting into these pressers from Mr. Brandon Bean and Mr. Leslie Frazier. We're also going to talk about the polls that we put out the last week, where we had you, the Fandemonium, choose who your Drought dream team was going to be. And I got to tell you, man, I really like you guys' selections. Came from the heart. I think we're going to have a good conversation tonight. I also wanted to say, Lady Bills, what's up, Mafia? Hell yeah, that's the way to start it. Let's go.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with.
And what's good, boys and girls? So glad to see all of you here. Of course, as always, I got the rootinest, tootinest Reed twins with me, Mr. Scott Reed, right over chair.
Hey!
And I got Mr. Jarrod Reed right down chair.
It's Fandemonium! He's trying something new every week.
Man, wow, I mean, I can't wait until you guys really fall into these catchphrases for your intros. It's going to be awesome.
What's up, Swank?
I'm just, I'm real glad to be here tonight, man. I'm super glad to be here. I'm glad to be able to talk with you boys about some Buffalo Bills football. And I'm stoked that we got Josh Williams here saying, hey, let's go Buffalo. What's up, Josh? We got Joey Hatch, Rob Mullen. We got Uncle James, fresh on vacation, man. Fresh on vacation. Look at this guy.
Nice.
I can't believe he's still up, to be honest. We got Robert Bedett, Get 'em Bills, Patrick Hughes, Debbie Emerton, hey Mafia, go Bills. We got John Johns. Speaking of John Johns, can we talk about the Johnses right now?
Man, the Johnses have been supporters of our page, our show, I think since the beginning of time, man. I tell you, we put out a little Sunday profile for not our super fans, but the fans of the Fandemonium, and these guys were the profile this week, both Lisa and John. And, we always preach that we love our family here, and to get a little bit of recognition is awesome. And you two, for sure, you supported us all the way, and we love you.
They've been two of the most kindest and supportive, and and we love all you guys, but man, we're trying to get these nominations going, give you guys a little bit of notoriety for being there for us through almost 3 seasons. We're going on to our third season of football doing this together.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nutty boyos. We got
you see their names everywhere. I mean, the Johns are participating in all our giveaways and all our raffles and donations. So not only are they here every time we're on, but they're here to support not only 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, but the Help One Foundation, Shout for a Cause, all those guys. So great people, great fans.
No, 100%. Let's see what we got here. Josh Williams said, anyone know when training camp will be this year? I saw you write this, buddy, and I pulled up a little article that says that everybody expects them to start it a little earlier this year than they have in previous years, which right now is kind of looking like, let's see, I think I saw July 23rd-ish.
As I say, it's usually the last week or the second to last week in July.
Yep, it says right here, this is WYRK.com. It says the Bills and the Rams veterans should be reporting to training camp the weekend of July 23rd. Okay. This is to allow the Bills and Rams a few extra days for camp and rest as they start the season 3 days sooner than the 30 other teams.
Right.
So that makes sense.
Yep.
Sooner the better for me, man. I wish it was tomorrow.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
We got
stuff starts to fall into place, and it seems to go quick.
Yes, sir. Ellen Larch needed this after a very busy day. Go Bills. What's up, Mafia? Ellen, us too.
Yep.
We got Paulette Brown. We got Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta.
That's right. That's goddamn right.
I got to come up with one of them.
There you go. Pick someone up.
My name's Jarrod. We got Patrick Hughes. Happy B-Day to one of our owners, Kim Pagu. I didn't know that. It's Kim's birthday today?
Yeah. Happy birthday, Kim.
Happy birthday, Kim. It's also Jeff Burris' birthday today.
You know what I heard, man? Their daughter is ranked top 10 in the world right now in female tennis.
Yep.
She's doing good.
It's awesome. And I think she's also ranked top 15 in doubles. Like, she's killing it right now.
Oh, boy. Good for her.
Joey Hatch.
That's a busy family, I tell you.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy how that stuff breeds. Like, you can't just, like, have a bunch of money and be that good at tennis. You know what I mean? You have to, like, be good and work at it and all that stuff. Oh, hi. You guys, if you can see this little sound blanket moving, that's my dog just poked in here to lick my foot. So, what's up, McCoy boy? Let's see. Al Rivera over on YouTube. Hey, guys, go Bills. Lady Bill says, hi, boys.
Hey, hey, hey.
We got Kevin. What's up, boys? We got to get Kevin on the show, man.
Yes.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. We got to get a bunch of these guys on the show.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got Tom back again. What's up, Tom Manweiler?
What's up, Tom? You liked the show so much last week. He's coming back.
I love it.
He's coming back for seconds.
Welcome. We love to have you.
Rob Mullen. Oh, man, you guys, there's just like a million things going on right now, man.
So, guys, as you're aware, Jarrod put out a post earlier today, and so did I. Just put one on my personal. If we reach 45 viewers at one time, we will chug a beer. You guys can join us. You guys can videotape yourself doing one. But we did this last year. We hit a mark that we wanted to hit, and we hit it pretty quick early in the show. And we had a fun time chugging that beer. And, you know, it's no secret that we like to drink a little bit on the show, and we love our beer. So have one with us. Get up to 45.
Yeah. Tell your friends, your family. Tell your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your uncles, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, your great aunts.
Is there anybody we're not going to tell, Swank?
Don't tell your ex-wife, man. I don't tell her shit.
I was thinking about this the other day. Don't tell the ex-wife. Don't tell the ex-husband either. We never say ex-husbands, do we?
No, and it's totally universal. Don't tell him either. He's probably a prick.
If there's one ex, there's two exes.
We got another
Speaking of drinking,
here.
guys. Speaking of drinking and football, what do we got going on in September and in the fans here?
Well, that's a great segue, Jarrod. We are doing our second annual regular season Rager.
Mm-hmm.
You can come meet us. You can see a live production of the show. You can be involved in the show. We got super fans galore coming down to this thing. It's going to be hosted at Reinvention Brewing in Shortsville, New York, right off the Thruway. So if you're in town, if you're up for a trip, come hang out. There's hotels right there. They are releasing a very special beer that day for just this event. And yeah, man, it's going to be great. The Derelicts are playing, and
got some live music, some good live music.
yeah, we're going to be shooting cornhole. We're going to be, we have shirts coming out for it, stickers, all sorts of crazy stuff. So if you're in the area, if you want to, come on down, man. It's going to be a good time.
Like Swank said, it's right off the Thruway, Shortsville Thruway, exit 43. It's a mile down the road, straight shot. And there are a couple motels lining that street as well as 96. And the Finger Lakes area is a beautiful area. So make it a weekend. Come out for the Saturday thing and go see some of the lakes, go fishing, do something, wine tours, all that stuff. It's a beautiful area for sure.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a little bit of news going on today.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, I'm going to throw this to you because I know that you heard it this week, right? Last week I made a hosting faux pas and I threw it to Scott without actually knowing if he saw it, because I know he's so dialed in that he's always seeing everything and hearing everything. But Scott, what did you think of Brandon Blean's press conference today, man?
And it's funny because last week, legit, I did watch everyone except for the Brandon Bean one that you called me out on. But I like this one. I liked everything he had to say. He gave us a little sneak peek in what the people in the background do. I mean, a lot of people that don't pay attention to the background stuff think there's a coach, there's the head coach, the coordinators, maybe a GM and an owner. But you don't understand that there's an assistant GM who comes up through the ranks. And we all know what happened to Joe Schoen. He went to the Giants. He was back in Bean this past year, and Bean actually gave Brian Gain the job. And the thing with this Brian Gain guy is he's been a GM before and he's been an assistant manager before. And so he was telling us a little bit about he plays a lot into the college and NFL and the pro stuff. So very experienced guys coming through. And guys, we said this a couple months ago. Not only do the Bills bring players, we say draft, and then sign. What's the progress? Draft, develop and sign. They do the same thing with their front office. They bring them in, they develop them, bring them up through the assistant part of it, and then they'll sign them if they have to or send them somewhere else. But he gave some awesome insight. He gave let us know a little bit about Brian Gaines, like I said, who's the new assistant GM. Terrence Gray, who now is the director of player personnel. He was the assistant director of player personnel last year. So again, they're coming up, and they created a new position for the analytics part as far as their health department. And that's crazy to me because we already know what kind of facility they have there in Buffalo, like top notch. And now they have an analytic crew creating jobs that are making it so it's player specific instead of position specific. So they know each player, how long they can practice with, without pads, how much running they do. And I'd like what being said about there's a car crash injuries, like the broken bones, and then there's a soft tissue injuries. And the big reason for all this analytic stuff, as far as that department goes, is to kind of prevent those soft tissue injuries from happening. But it was a half an hour press conference. And like I said, he not leaked, but he gave us a little bit of insight on what actually goes down and what these people do. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And he was joking around in the beginning too. I thought it was hilarious. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he's so chill. I mean, in the media, he's so chill, right? Like, I think he's a pretty serious guy, but I think him and McDermott are like this perfect marriage, right? Where they know there's a time to joke around, they know there's a time to be serious. I think you said it perfect, man. It's that draft, develop, resign thing, and front office people no different. That's exactly what I was thinking when you're talking about 5 promotions and 5 new hires. Like, that's crazy, man. And really, this year they had almost like, I don't want to say a gimme draft, but it was like one of the least stressed I've felt in the draft in a long, long time. And they came right out swinging, got that CB, and then it was just, like you said, gravy. Like. And now you got 5 more guys. I'm not worried about it. Brandon Beane is a goddamn magician. It doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's a reason why these press conferences seem fun and loose and there's no stress, is because Beane and McDermott and everyone underneath them have done a wonderful job bringing in players that we hope just keep building year in and year out. And as Bills fans sitting back this year, we feel like they've done it again. So to be able to be serious on the practice field and then come out and not be so stressed out during the conferences, I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. Yep. We got Rob Mullen saying, keep in mind Gaines had incredibly good success as assistant GM in Houston. Now will be Beane's right-hand man moving forward.
He was with the Texans from 2018 to 19. He was an assistant for the Dolphins in 2012 and 2013. So it's not like someone that's brand new coming in. I mean, Beane got someone that, Beane did say, if I drop dead today, I need someone that's going to take over and not miss a beat. He's that guy.
100%. I wanted to back up just for a second here. And Debbie, I wasn't skipping you. I was just waiting for the right opportunity. She said, can you message me or post info about the Rager? I have no idea where you guys are. Just to let you guys know, there's an event coming. Scott and I are getting together, and Jarrod, if he's free, for sure, you can come along too if you want.
There's the extended invite. There you go.
Yeah, we're just we're trying to get the poster and the event and all the imagery and the graphics and everything in line. We were waiting for some details to be sorted out, and now with the venue in place and everything else, there's also, I'm going to say this like K-Gun exclusive right now, and it's not really speaking out of school, I don't think, because he did post on the FLX Mafia page that he's trying to come up here, but this year's Rager is to benefit the Help One Foundation via Shout for a Cause. So Shout for a Cause is helping raise money for the Help One Foundation through the Rager. Half of all the ticket sales is going to them. And I think there's going to be maybe a deal with that drink that's getting released by Reinvention too. We don't know 100% for sure. But Mark has stated a couple times now and on that page that he would like to come up for that. So there's a chance that Mark Maddox might be at the Rager. He's trying to work it out, and we're trying to see he's super busy, all that stuff. So please don't come up to us at the Rager and be like, hey, where's Mark Maddox? You said Mark Maddox is going to be here. This is kind of just like an insider's thing for you guys, the loyal people that watch and hang and do. And if you can make it, that might be just like this extra special little treat that's on top of it. But come down and hang out with us for the interaction and to laugh and to talk about the Bills and to get in on some good drinks and have a hell of a good time and kick off the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For those that don't know, we had a regular season Rager last year. Paul Rossi was one of the fans that made it out. We were able to meet him, and that's one of our favorite things to do is meet you guys and talk to you about Bills football and about life. But this year we are Finger Lakes boys, so we decided instead of having it in the city of Rochester this year, we were going to bring it home. We've developed, you'll see our sister page, FLX Mafia, for the fans in the Finger Lakes area that need to be recognized. We are a loud, big crew. Finger Lakes area is huge, and we've got a fan page now, the FLX Mafia, that's also going to be part of it. We're gonna be doing some FLX Mafia shirts and stuff like that. But it's in that area, and we love to promote the locals and keep things towards our hearts in that area, and that's why we're having it there, and we can't wait. We're gonna have a blast.
Oh wait, we got exclusive breaking news right now. Now I did say that we had super fans that were coming. Now one of our and I'm not signaling out any super, all the super fans that we are friends with are beautiful people, and they have treated us like gold, correct? Like we've been welcomed very warmly, and we appreciate it. But I believe the first one to ever welcome us into the crew and to get us networked in and to lovingly hold us against his helmet.
I'm just getting goosebumps. I'm reading it right now, Swank.
Mr. Buffalo Spartan, who was not going to be able to make it and now says he has changed his plans, so he'll be here. You heard it here first. And I am so excited. This is Sparta! I'm so pumped, dude.
And then Lady Bills went ahead and just mentioned that they're jersey raffle. So we will be during the show. We'll have some stuff to give away to the fans. We'll have some raffles going on, and you're going to go there, have a couple drinks, eat some good food, and just win some stuff and hang out with us and the super fans and maybe Mark Maddox. Oh man, I hate to wish the summer away, but I wish it was September 3rd.
Yeah, it's going to be a great thing that happens. Hopefully the weather holds up and everything. We're going to have some fun. I just want to throw out really quick because we're up to 25 and I don't know what YouTube looks like, but I'm seeing a lot of brand new names on here.
Oh yeah.
And you could tell a lot of them who they are because they say like, just, hey guys, but welcome. We hope to see you every week from here on out. We talk Bills football. We talk anything and everything you guys want to. I just want to welcome everybody new watching the show today. We're going to get to that Drought All-Star team pretty soon here.
Hell yeah. Really quick too, man. And I don't know. I'm completely fine with going through these comments and addressing all this stuff for the first 20 minutes of the show. That's completely fine.
Absolutely.
I love all the stuff that you guys are doing. But I did want to hit up, let's see here, Chrissy Kent, man. Yeah. This is Doug Kent's wife. She's very good to the band. They own the Nork Bowling Alley. And we've had several conversations. She was a sports media sports. I don't know what you gotta tell me what your your degree was in again, Chrissy. But we were talking. We really want to get her on the show. She's really interested in podcasting. I told her about it. Thanks so much for checking in and hanging out, Chrissy. That's Welcome. So awesome.
That's one of the names I saw. Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome, Chrissy.
Yeah. And we'll get you on here some point and talk a bunch of Bills football and sports and all sorts of fun stuff. We got
Swank. Patrick Hughes has a question. Patrick, we will be doing the event on September 3rd is going to be from about 3:00 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yep.
And what it's going to entail a meet and greet, kind of hang out with us, hang out with the super fans, get some pictures and stuff. And then we'll be doing a live show like this from, I believe, 4 to 5:30 or something like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to
4:30 to 6.
An hour and a half show.
And it'll be live.
So there's a spot where bands play at Reinvention. It's really cool. They got a big outdoor area. They're actually putting up a brand new gazebo pavilion, and it's one of my favorite places to play around here. There's three places that have been very, very good to the band forever. We played Reinvention's 4th anniversary here a couple weeks ago. Scott came down and was hanging out at that, and then we had a meeting with them, and they were like ecstatic to be a part of this and to be hosting. So what we wanted was just like a nice outdoor event, and it'll still be good weather at that point. Have some beers, just get everybody to interact and hang out and meet each other. Like you said, man, one of the highlights of the Rager for me last year was meeting Paul Rossi. Like, that was such a like cool thing, and it was a really cool experience all over. But the Rochester thing, it was too far removed from our roots. And like, if you can't tell, like, the three of us are very rooted here. We're real people. This is how we are all the time. You know, the show started outside of a bar, basically. We always say, like 15 years ago, you know, just talking Bills football outside of the local watering hole. Yep. And that's what it is. So we wanted to be in a place that was comfortable, that represented us, that would allow us to do what we wanted to do and still have a good time, and just a great meetup for people to interact who love the Bills, you know. So that's what this is all about. And if you can make it, man, it would be so great. So cool. But yeah, cornhole, live show for an hour and a half. We're going to be pulling people up. I'm going to make Spartan come up. Lady Bills is coming. All you super fans better be ready. You're going to be live on the show.
Spartan just said he has a driver, so
there you
he
go.
might be getting a little drunk.
You better get a hotel room, I think. Spartan, you can crash here if you want, man. It's fine with me.
Joey Hatch says share and tag somebody to this live feed. We're at 28. If we get to 45 people watching at once, he wants to see us chug a beer.
Yeah,
so
that's fine with me.
Take
man.
your friends. Tag him.
Spartan is getting drunk.
I know. Love them. Man, oh man, I love this crew.
Oh, Chrissy says communication, sports broadcasting. That's the word I was
go.
looking for, was sports broadcasting. But yeah, absolutely. We want to get you.
We'd love to have you on the show for sure.
Lisa says her van holds 7, so if anybody lives or knows Lisa and John's, get at her.
Call that spot right now.
You just have to take out a small lien on your house for gas money to get out here, but other than that, you'll be fine.
Why are you celebrating,
Just popped in.
Oh, Eater's here.
Oh, what's up, Eater?
Welcome.
Uncle James says he's buying Spartan a drink.
There you go.
Oh, absolutely, Chrissy. You're in. We got to schedule that. Write that down. Who's the secretary? Jarrod, are you the secretary?
Got it right here.
There you go. Yes, Lady Bills. Congratulations to Lady Bills. She just actually finalized a Bills backers bar there in Mohawk Valley. So that's awesome news. Anywhere you can get Bills backers bar. There's not a lot around the Finger Lakes area, but out in Mohawk Valley, close to home for her. Awesome. Congrats, Lady Bills. I know that's a big accomplishment for you.
And actually, not to I don't know. Well, there's nothing like out of bounds here anyway. I know Chrissy was saying that Rose Bowl Lanes was trying to become a Bills backer bar as well, and Lady Bills just went through that with the bar that she's working with. So if you guys want to hook up, check it out. I think you're both Bills Mafia babes anyway. It's all a great community. Loving.
Nice.
Yeah, it's right there, working on that.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah, get a hold of each other.
We got Chris Christian here. All right. Now listen. I love talking to all you guys, but we got to get onto the subject, right?
Right. I'll tell you what. No, this we do have to get there, but this is what we do. We talk to our fans. They got stuff to say. That we love to hear their opinions, and sometimes if half the show is talking to you guys, I'm okay with that, to be honest with you.
Oh hell yeah, man! I love this. Like I love all of this. So let's keep going.
Yeah, I can't wait to see everyone's opinions on who we picked for this Drought All-Star team. This is gonna be fun.
Well,
with a capital F.
Let's get started, and of course, please bring the comments. Keep it going. We're riding right at 27 on Facebook, which means through all the other platforms, we're probably hitting right about 36. I'm gonna guess. Mm-hmm. So, tell everybody you want to chug a beer with us. We're there. I got this nice crispy Kolsch over here. A little Ruby Red.
There it is.
that's getting room temperature so that I can show up all
Chug.
these fools.
I got a Coors Light.
Of course you do.
So like, you want me to explain what we did with the
Yeah,
post
let's
this
go
week?
with that. Yep, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so guys, real quick, in the beginning of the week, with Ryan Fitzpatrick retiring, 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, we actually wanted to on the K-Gun Report kind of do an all-star team for the Droughts. And obviously the Bills didn't make the playoffs in the year 2000 or all the way up to 2016. So we took everybody was eligible that was between those years, whether or not they made playoffs before or not. And we, by position, we had you guys vote who you think would be on the all-star team. We did offense this week. And then next week, we're actually going to do defense. So, which I think is going to be a lot more difficult because I think our defense was a lot more talented during the drought area.
Carried us for many years.
I got to say really fast too. I know this experiment that we did with this drought team, like the offense, we are picking the line, right? We were like, we're going to just pick the line and make it easy on everybody. Yep. I don't think we can do that with the defense, man.
Nope.
I think we got to.
I'm gonna start the posts on Thursday, actually.
Yeah.
So we can
tomorrow probably.
yeah. Right now.
Yeah. Right. So that's what we're doing, and you guys voted. You voted well, and surprisingly, unsurprisingly, you guys actually went with your heart. There's a lot of statistics out there that would suggest grabbing another player, but it's fitting for us Bills fans. We're an emotional group. We went with the people that made us feel good rather than who potentially would have been the better player. Jarrod will point out there's a lot of stats that provide backup for who you guys picked, but it was fun nonetheless. It was fun nonetheless because everybody we put out on the post got votes, which is awesome to see. Yeah,
and I got to tell you, man, I've been typecasted on this live stream podcast as Mr. Emotions over here, because I lean more towards that. That's my connection to the team when I was little and all that stuff. I kind of love how it shook out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously, we say it all the time. If you adorn that jersey, like we're on your side, we're rooting for you. But the guy that you guys picked for your quarterback during the drought era, hits me right in the heartstrings. And maybe it all just like worked out perfectly because, he did just retire, right? Officially retire. Mm-hmm. We're going to it. We're starting in on it. Here it is. Bang. Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick is your drought all-star QB.
Scott's wearing his jersey.
Look at him.
And it's legit. I'll show you. It's got.
I thought it was a Watkins. Did you name change that?
No, I did not. It's not a Diggs or a Watkins.
He had Allen Blue Sharpie the back of it.
Yeah. Dude, those are my favorite. If you go to games and people have duct tape just over the name, I love that.
Yeah, I love the game where everybody had a Fitzpatrick jersey on from all different, I think it was 10 teams he played on. The group of fans that were walking down had all the jerseys on. It was fucking hilarious. Pardon my language.
So going back to the heart thing, because that's what we mentioned. When we saw all this going or developing, we're like, oh, man, because my first instinct was to go with Drew Bledsoe. He had a crazy couple years there. Actually, I think in 2004, their offense was actually ranked top 5 in a lot of categories. So my first instinct was to go with Drew Brees. Drew Bledsoe. So that's who I picked. And then I saw people filtering in for Fitzpatrick, and I'm like, okay, he's a great guy. We love him in Buffalo. I wonder if people are just voting because of what's happening now. But then when you break down the numbers, Fitzpatrick actually had a pretty damn close comparison to Drew Bledsoe. And it's crazy. He has a better completion percentage and, yards per game. Drew Bledsoe had 20 yards per game more than Fitzpatrick did. And the records are pretty much the same, 20 and 33 for Fitz, 23 and 25 for Drew. He had a better winning percentage, but they're pretty damn close. So, yeah, I love the pick. Again, I went for Drew Bledsoe, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he's our man. He beat the Patriots, too, so that adds a little bit of that oomph to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, man, WGR has been talking about Fitzy and his retirement, and they've been going through all this stuff, like, through the years with him. And there was 2 things that, like, really hit me when I was listening to these radio broadcasts. Number one is that Bean, and in his presser today, he made mention of this, is completely open, obviously. If Fitzy wants a one-day contract to retire a bill, he'll do it. It's all on him if he wants it, whatever. Or Not that he'll do it, but definitely there'll be a conversation about it and whatever. And why wouldn't they do it? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I think, like, for a person like Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is a gunslinger, who at least was, like, enough exciting during a whole crappy lot of quarterbacks that we had to sit through, at least he would go for it. And he was unapologetic about it, you know? That brings me to, like, my second point was that, like, when he was here, people loved him for his antics. People loved him when he was winning. But it's really what he did after he left here that I think solidified who Fitzpatrick is, right? Like, it's kind of like that point that they were making where I was like, well, yeah, I love him. I loved him when he was here. I've said it on the show before where it was like, that was the fun era during the drought for me. Like him, Freddie, Stevie, you know, like that was so fun. Like I remember Stevie dressing up like Chan Gailey on Halloween, you know, like stupid stuff like that was sticking out in my brain when it was like so hard to be a Bills fan for a lot of people. But really, like, you just love the team so much. It's like, what else are you going to do? You know? And at least these personalities were fun. And when Ryan Fitzpatrick would throw this wild pass and 3 times out of 4, it was a pick, but that one time it was a touchdown, you were like, magical. Yeah, you need that. Like, you got to take those risks. You know?
Yep. You defended every move he made, right?
Yeah. But I just think, so here's the question I wanted to pose to you guys. Do you think the legend of Fitzpatrick for Bills Mafia specifically was built in Buffalo, or was it built afterwards and we're looking back at it fondly because he is just such a staple in the NFL as a journeyman?
I'm going to answer that as the post-Buffalo Bills time. And I'm going to say that just because, you know, he was a gunslinger. He was one of those guys that signed that big contract and then took a back seat after that contract was signed. No fault to his own, but the teams were just struggling then. And the more you look at these rosters, you more realize that they had the talent. They just didn't have the front office to create the locker room that they needed to. But everything that happened afterwards, not only did he go to other teams, I mean, 9 other teams, that's crazy. But everywhere he went, he always referenced the Buffalo Bills fans.
Yeah.
He always came back to the Mafia. And the more he did that, the more the feelings got stronger for Fitzpatrick. And then, God, that playoff game, he's in the crowd last year with his shirt off, yelling in the 200 zones with the red lamps over him. That just solidified it, man. And no, I'm a huge fan of him. Obviously, I got his jersey. But I would say there was a strong feeling for him during the time in Buffalo, the 4 years he spent here. But it didn't hurt the fact that what he did afterwards made us even bigger fans.
I mean, I 100% agree. What do you think, Jarrod?
Yeah, I 100% agree too. Post Buffalo Bills, I think he's mentioned the fact that he just felt like one of us, with the Bills Mafia. So not only like just his emotions when he played, when he threw that touchdown pass against Oakland Raiders to win the game, he screamed, right? His game against New England Patriots, you can hear the emotion in his voice when he was mic'd up that 99% of the Bills fans were probably making that same sound. So he connected. He knew it was special when it was happening, even though the teams weren't as great as we wanted them to be during that time. And then again, he leaves and he still makes reference to the Bills Mafia. He still makes reference to his teammates here. Again, he shows up at the game last year with his shirt off celebrating. So that's just, you know, that's part of it. You can't not like him. There was no reason to hate him when he left, and there was no reason to hate him when he was playing for other teams. We actually feared him when he was playing with the Jets, I think. Who would you rather play against if Fitz shows up, or Dolphins? If Fitz shows up and plays, we're going to be more worried than Tua.
Well, he played for both, so. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So when he was in the game, you had to be worried. So we had a respect for him, and that respect has just grown and grown, and that's why he was obviously voted as our all-star on emotion and heart, what he did on and off of the field, and the total package right there fits.
Plus, he has a red beard like the three of us do, so that helps.
My beard's dirty blonde with a little strawberry in it.
Okay.
Kevin says, fear the beard. Joey Hatch, you had a little glimmer of hope all the time with all those players around. That's absolutely true, man. Paul Rossi, I like this comment. No disrespect. Drought years, we were the lovable losers. I'll tell you this, man. When we broke the drought that night, we've done a show. I think we did a show about this probably the first season that we were doing this, about where were you, what were you doing when the drought got broke, right? Yep. And I'll never forget that night, because I don't think I had it in me to believe that it was possible, like that all the cards were actually going to fall the way that they were supposed to let us win, to get to where we needed to be in the playoffs and end the drought. I didn't expect it that night. I know New Year's Eve, all that stuff, the way it was, I was like literally in shock. And it was like my wife and I very, very early on in our relationship. And it just, I couldn't say, like, I just kept pointing at the TV, being like, it has to say 0. Like, it was over. But we know as Bills fans what, like, it's not over. It's not over until it's over, man. Like, it absolutely isn't. Like, I think a lot of fans of other teams take that for granted, but we've literally been sucked in this black hole of all these crazy events, like things that have buzz names through the last 30 years, right? Games and moments, and even as recent as the Hail Murray. You know, that's what Bills fans get.
13 seconds. That's how recent
13 seconds, man. Absolutely. Like, all of these things. This is what it's been for Bills. It's like every season there's something that happens where you're like, there's the same old Bills, right? This team is not the same old Bills. But I just, through all that time, I still think, like I said, this team, the Ryan Fitzpatrick team, with all, I mean, we're going to go through the rest of our picks, obviously, but Ryan Fitzpatrick is definitely the most enjoyable quarterback that I can remember. Can we agree on that?
I agree.
Yep.
He went 20-33 as a Buffalo Bill, but you still thought every game that he's playing, they still had a chance to win. And that's what he did.
Absolutely. Now, really quick, I know this is going to be a long show, man. Scott, who would have you picked?
I personally picked, this is the thing that you have to consider, and I'm one of those analytical guys, so I kind of broke it down. If I was going to go Fitzpatrick, my running backs would have looked different. I would have gone 11 personnel instead of 21 personnel as far as the offense goes. But since if I was a dual Fitzpatrick, I would have played a fullback like we did on this one. So I did go with Drew Bledsoe, thinking that would be the guy I would want on my team in this era. But, you know, the people voted.
They voted well.
And they did. All right, we're moving on to that that running back.
Scott, you quickly mentioned the running backs and everybody that you would bring in. As this slowly unfolds, you're going to realize that who knows what these players would have brought to a team if they were all on there. But there's something in common. There's heart, there's work ethic, there's community. There's a lot more than just the numbers with these players that were voted in. So after everything was done and looking over the whole scheme, this is a pretty damn good team.
And let's not forget, we're going to running backs here. Marshawn Lynch was a really good running back when he went to Seattle. Freddie Jackson, did he not have a better career than Marshawn Lynch did in Buffalo, Jarrod?
Besides run yards per game, he did have a better career here. Yeah. He had more receptions, more touchdowns. Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what right now. I threw it up there. The running back that the Fandemonium chose was Fred Jackson. And I'll say this, man. Freddie, to me, has a lot of similar characteristics, maybe more so as he's been perceived by the fan base or by outsiders of the fan base in the NFL. There's a lot of parallels to be drawn to Motor, Mr. Devin Singletary. Underestimated, undervalued, undermined. I mean, I think how many seasons in a row was Fred Jackson completely cut out at the knees, had to fight for his job, won it every single time, you know? The one time that it was even in question was when C.J. Spiller was here. And then guess what?
They split carries and had a great season together.
And then Fred ended up being the man except for one season while C.J. was here. So I know that the man to the lower of me is the biggest Fred Jackson fan in the world. So Please, Jarrod, take it away.
So I tried to avoid the heart on this one, and I actually picked LaShawn McCoy for my
Never mind,
original
Scott,
running
go ahead.
back. No, LaShawn McCoy, when he was here, he had better numbers in that drought than any other running back did. If you're going to look comparatively, he just had a different dimension, and that's why they brought him in. But they brought him in because they didn't have any other pieces to play well. Fred Jackson fit the community well. He fit the players that were on the team well. You go back to that game against the Chicago Bears when he stiff-armed that safety Conte, I think.
Conte, yep.
Yeah, that just shows you his heart. He's another player that his numbers were second ranked compared to LaShawn McCoy, but you can't take away the pandemonium, the way he reacted with his fans, and this heart to play the best he can, because he had a journey. Fred Jackson had a journey. He wasn't, unrestricted free agent. He came in, he played for, I can't even think of the other team, the USFL or something like that. And he had to fight to get on there. And when he did, he didn't lose his job. His best preseason game, I thought there was no doubt he was going to make the team. Remember, he played against the Steelers, had 2 touchdowns for like 60 yards and 40 yards. I was like, yeah, it's Freddie. And then they cut him next week. Mm-hmm. That was sad. But like I said, LaShawn McCoy was my number one guy. Fred Jackson was my number one heart guy. And when I saw that the Mafia voted for him, that was the right answer. That was the right pick. Freddie.
Just a quick timeout from the running back talk. Mr. Brian Van Slyke is here from
Christian
Breaking
Wade.
Tables. And he says, what's up, gents? I'm a big adult and qualify equivalently to 25 people. Does that mean you guys chug? No.
Nope.
But we love you, man. And please check out Breaking Tables on the Built in Buffalo podcast network.
There you go. Nice.
Got good stuff going on over there.
Oh, yeah, man. Good stuff.
So let me start off by saying Freddie Jackson, he deserved more than just being cut by Doug Whaley and his crew. I thought that was shocking, and it's kind of the way Doug Whaley did things. And I'm not a big fan of Doug Whaley. We've already known that, but that's the way it is. I actually wasn't I did not know who to go for. It was Freddie Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, or even Travis Henry, because Travis Henry put up some pretty good numbers, especially with the fullback that we may have nominated in the backfield blocking for him. But I honestly I did pick Lynch, but I think I picked Lynch because of his career, not his career in Buffalo.
Yeah, afterwards.
Freddie Jackson, let's remember, Jarrod, he was the first guy in the NFL to ever get 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000-yard kick returning in a season.
Oh, I know.
But he was a guy that spent all 8 years in Buffalo. Three of those years, he was a starter, and the other bunch of those years, he was always not a backup, but split carries. So I don't think he got his due, but I do think he was a wonderful asset for Buffalo for those 8 years. He played his ass off. He let everyone know that he was there for Buffalo, and his game proved it.
Absolutely. I don't think I can say anything that hasn't been said. I mean, Fred was the heart and soul of this team. Our boy Aaron Williams wore his practice jersey the day after he got cut, There was a lot of heart there. Fred, interestingly enough, out of all the players that Ryan Fitzpatrick has ever played with, he named Fred Jackson as his favorite, best teammate through all those years. And that is just, like, astounding to me, man. Like, I'm sure you can dig through a lot of players' dirty laundry and find something that you don't like about them. I dare you with Fred, man. Fred carried this team on his back for the years where nobody wanted to be on this team, And again, a glimmer of hope, He just
that summer he got released by the Buffalo Bills. I actually had the opportunity to go to Eastview Mall with my brother-in-law Pete, and we met Freddie Jackson. I actually had 15 to 20 minutes. He signed a couple things for us, but we actually talked. We talked about family. I just had my new son, Sullivan. He talked about his kiddos. I asked him if he was going to grow a beard like Fitzpatrick did, and he said his wife wouldn't let him. Like, he was easy to talk to, and that's one of the reasons. Thurman Thomas is my all-time number one. Freddie Jackson's right there just because I actually met him and talked with him, and it was just – I felt so awesome. It was a great time, but he's – no wonder why he's Fitzpatrick's favorite teammate. He was easy to talk to, and he cared about people coming to see him to get stuff signed. So
it's really funny that is he the only Buffalo Bill you've ever met like physically in person?
I actually had the gall to talk to. Yeah.
So you met Freddie. I met CJ. He's the only physical, aside from what we do here, and to be able to like Zoom and hang out with players in that capacity. And I'm sorry, I met Butch Roll since then because we played a show with him. But the first Buffalo Bill I actually physically got to talk to, shake their hand, was CJ Spiller. And
it's awesome.
That's just funny that like yours was Freddie, mine's was CJ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Scott, have you ever met a Buffalo Bill before?
Only during autograph sessions. Never really sat down and talked to him. So someday. That's
who was it? Who was the first one?
Thurman Thomas.
No. All running backs for us.
Runnings at Canandaigua.
Wow,
yeah.
sweet. Yeah. I heard about that 2 days too late.
I went there. I had so many things I wanted to ask him, and then I hand my stuff down to get autographed, and I seriously went, I really enjoyed watching you play.
Terminator!
Thank you so much for saying that.
I love it all.
Debbie Emerton, did another team sign him? Yes. So Freddie Jackson did play for the Seattle Seahawks afterwards, but that was it.
He did pretty good.
I was trying to figure out whether or not she was talking about Fred or Christian Wade, because Brian made that comment about Christian Wade.
Right. I think Christian Wade is actually attempting to go back to rugby.
Really?
Do it.
That's crazy. Sure, if you can, man, why not? But that's a crazy journey, you know.
I ain't kidding.
I wish you would.
Chrissy Kent said Lee Evans. She must have met Lee Evans before.
They're friends with Lee Evans. Yes, the Kents are friends with Lee Evans. And actually, there might be a little hookup to get Lee Evans on the
You're put on the spot, Chrissy.
Are you saying on the K-Gun report, Swank?
Huh?
You heard it here first.
Listen, allegedly. I can't confirm or deny.
Right. We have fun with it, though.
Yeah, Chrissy, actually, I can't wait for her to come on, because we were talking the last show we played there like a month ago. We got talking about all this stuff, and it came up that I did this with you guys, and she has so many cool stories of like Doug and her and Lee Evans and like Bills players, like bowling, and so like bowling and football like kind of go hand in hand with these guys, and it's crazy. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tease that out. She's gonna come on, and we're gonna get her to spill all these stories and talk about the Bills the way she wants to talk about the Bills. But I don't know. I had a really good time. It's really cool when my music world and this can like cross paths. That's why I'm stoked about the Rager. That's why I don't know. You meet so many cool people that feel the same way you do about the Bills and feel the same way you do about music and all this stuff. And oh my God. No, but it's so cool, man. It's so cool.
Rob Mullen just gave us a little stat update about Fred Jackson. To add on that, he also had 322 receiving receptions. So that's another stat that you don't really see a lot with running backs in the early 2000s, is that many receptions besides Marshall Faulk. But he did have a great 322. And that's another reason why I was going to say LaShawn McCoy, because he had 175 with 4 years. So he would have had 350 if it kept going that way. But yeah, Freddie was more than just a running back. He was a receiver and a kick returner. So great pick, Mafia.
Man, this should definitely. Oh man, yeah. Chrissy said it all started because we both had the same draft hat. So she was in Vegas during the draft. I was wearing this the night that we played there, and we got talking about all that. And I was like, oh yeah. And then she said she was there when the draft was going on. It was cool. Anyway, I'll let her tell you guys because she's definitely going to be on the show.
It's crazy how many football players are into bowling. It really is. It's there's a lot of fundraisers. We know. I believe Butch Roll said something about a bowling charity thing that they do. Same thing with Mark Maddox, and that's an event that a lot of teams do to have the players kind of bond a little bit, is by going to bowling alley. So bowling's a huge sport for these football players.
Yeah, and like I said, Chrissy's got a very cool story about how all that stuff came to be. I would love Christian Wade to return punts, says Jamie. Uncle James, dude. He's not on the team anymore. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Earlier in the show, someone did mention about Taven Austin. What's your guys' quick take on him?
I love it, man. Veteran depth, punt returns, that's a big question mark. I know we were talking about, some draft guys that could do it, or trying to get a little dirty back there to return some punts. I think you get a guy like Tavon Austin back there, and he can exclusively do that. He's one of the fastest dudes in the league still. I think he has the record, or close to, maybe not the record, but close to the record of returned for TD. I don't know. I think, why not, man? Mm-hmm. Why not have this guy on your team? Maybe he didn't live up to his 8th overall pick, when he got drafted. But for a good 7-8 years, when you heard his name and you were playing him, you had to prepare against him. And he's not done. I don't think he's completely done. I think he's got still some gas in the tank. And why not, man? I'd rather have him out there getting blown up than Micah Hyde, to be honest. And that might sound a little brutal. But
no, it's honest, though.
I'd rather have that happen.
I'm telling you what, Swank. If the Bills do bring 7 wide receivers on their 53-man roster, Marquez Stevenson's job is now in jeopardy. I know you've got a guy that's in the second year, but you've got a Tavon Austin, and if they're playing for the now, he may take that spot. At first, I was thinking he may be just a roster fill, just someone to fill up for camp. But this guy, 4.27 40, he's fast, and he's got the confidence to do those kick returns and punt returns. So you'll see that battle in the 3 preseason games for sure. He'll be around, and he'll be an awesome practice squad kind of. I'm not sure if he'd be eligible for practice squad, but it'd be a hell of a speedy slot wide receiver to cover for these guys during camp.
If they did practice squad, it'd be the veteran pay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I got somebody said something really quick. Amanda said she cried when Freddie left. So did I, Amanda. So did I. Okay, sorry.
Jerry just wanted to bring that up. I cried.
Amanda's a good friend of ours from way back when, so I just want to throw her out there. And
okay.
Is that Amanda Hoffert?
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Amanda.
They're down in Florida now. Bills fans in Florida. That's always good.
Well, I mean, why not? All right, we better get this moving here.
I was gonna say we got fullback.
We got
2
7 minutes to go through the right now.
Yeah.
You guys good with going a little over?
Yes. Not a problem. Not a problem. Cool. A little over and speed it up a little bit, right?
All right. So here we go.
And we still got minutes to get 45.
Yep.
Right now we got the fullback as voted by the Fandemonium, Mr. Sam Gash. You guys want to hit on him real fast?
Fullback,
just the neck roll alone. He's good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Fullbacks are people too, and we don't get enough out of fullbacks. The Bills still carry one in Reggie Gilliam, which is awesome. But I was mentioning to Jarrod and Swank before the show started. I know Gash was on the team in 98, 99. I forgot that he had gone to Baltimore and then came back in the Buffalo in 2003, that of which we already, Rob Mullen already mentioned with Travis Henry. He was the lead blocker for Travis Henry who got 1,400 yards rushing. So the guy is a thumper. I'm glad he was the guy voted. I was a fan of Damon Shelton, Corey McIntyre, Larry Centers, all those guys, Frank Summers. But I believe Larry Centers probably would have been a better fullback for the Drew Bledsoe type of offense rather than the offense that we're picking right now.
Because he's a catching back. Yeah.
Yes, but I love this pick. The guy was a thumper. You did not want to man up on this guy for sure.
Patrick Hughes says, going into overtime, I love it. Rob Mullen, Sam was a very underutilized pass-catching fullback. Joey Hatch, I think Reggie Gilliam is a great player, just young, but he has a big frame.
Mm-hmm.
John John's the best blocking fullback I can remember.
Swank.
Now, I'm looking at the numbers
I know
right now.
Sometimes we throw things out in the show. How about right at 9 o'clock, when we hit that 9 o'clock, when we know the show's still going to go on, you have a thing that comes up that goes, overtime.
Yeah, I can't put that together right now.
I'm confident
I can do this. Ready?
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back
to No, I'm looking at his numbers right now. He's one of those fullbacks who still got carries throughout the game. And he was a lead blocker for Travis Henry, but he was, looking at the numbers right here, he was a good receiver coming out of the backfield too. So he was a triple header, as they would say. He just looked like a fullback too. So it's a great vote. Larry Centers, again, Scott, like you said, great coming out of the backfield. I think McIntyre was another straight fullback. I think he was only in there in run games or running plays. But, yeah, Sam Gash definitely had the trifecta working for him.
I'm telling you, in the 3 years he was with Buffalo, he had 50 catches. That's unheard of for a fullback.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I had already had the next slide up, and then I went to the I said it, and then some people might have already saw who the first wide receiver was, so I switched it as quick as I could. But Fandemonium, throughout the week, your votes for wide receiver, number one vote for wide receiver was the man who should be on the wall.
The wall.
Mr. Eric Moulds.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
This is one of those guys that was ahead of his time. I know I've heard some people compare him to Megatron. I know he wasn't 6'6", the size, but he was a strong wide receiver, great hands, had the speed. He had 3 1,000-yard seasons, 2000, 2002, 2004. He did it all. And he was very reliable, and he's one of the best wide receivers the Bills, maybe number 2, number 3 rank on the Buffalo Bills as far as I'm concerned. And he is one of those guys for sure. Unfortunately, I wish would have made the playoffs during that drought. I know he did make the playoffs in 99 and 98 and all that stuff, but just to see him dwindle off and then go to Houston and Tennessee was sad to see.
Now, before we go any further right now, I love this because I encourage everyone on this page, in this show, on this group to have whatever opinion they want, man. And Mike Vogt, he is not happy right now, dude. He says he disagrees with this pick. I want to let you guys know there are 2 wide receivers. So before you get too carried away, there's 2. So there's another one coming up. But Mike says he also couldn't carry Megatron's jock.
Megatron was the only player on that team. So
let's say Megatron got all the targets. They had no other wide receivers. Moulds had the likings of Lee Evans and Peerless Price. Yeah. Backfield, fullbacks and running backs that were getting targets. And you know what? That's okay. Love the opinion. He okay. he had like a 58% catching percentage, which is pretty damn good in the NFL. So.
I absolutely hate Moulds.
All right.
Well, then, Mike,
that's fine, man. That's fine.
Mike, we're gonna keep going on it, and also I think that's a little harsh.
I love it,
but that's okay,
awesome.
Dude, because there's players that I completely feel that way about that a lot of people don't feel about. So that's cool. But I want to. What is your number one reason why you dislike Moulds?
I think
the fumble against Miami.
I think the Moulds thing is he was consistent. He had stats between 65 and 85 catches per year. He had 4 1,000-yard seasons. He was consistent. He wasn't anything that came out and flared, but he was there with the Bills when they were in the drought. So I think that's what we have with Moulds, and I think that's what the argument is. If you voted for Moulds, go look at his stats, and you might be leaning more towards Mike Vogt's opinion. If you see what his stat line looks like, he was a great player in the time because, like I said, he was consistent. But overall, looking at the numbers, he wasn't up with Stevie or Lee Evans for number one.
I'm going to tell you, we are getting great content right now and ideas for a show. I really want to do this show because a lot of people are coming in with like these like toe in the water kind of like opinions or takes on players that maybe they weren't 100% behind when they were here. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great topic for a show, man. Joey says Marshawn Lynch pissed me off 2 years for his knee to get it fixed, and then he leaves Buffalo. Marshawn pissed me off when he got his gun charge and that hit and run charge. So didn't seem like he wanted to be here. If you want to talk about people for me, Jason Peters pissed me off very hard. Said that he gave up on the team on purpose that last season he was here. Stephon Gilmore. This is going to be a show, guys. So go ahead and vent it out, and we're going to keep moving on.
We're going to call it the K-Gun Report goes rogue?
Yeah. The K-Gun vent sesh. Mike says, I would have traded Moulds to Atlanta for the McGahee pick instead of Peerless Price. For me, he dropped way too many crucial passes. Could be, man. Could be.
We had an idea for a show a while ago too, the Van Miller show. We got what, 11 weeks now. We can probably fit a Van Miller show in there. Our favorite calls. that we
did
heard from
talk
Van
about
Miller.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was mentioned a long time ago. Why so
all right.
serious, Mike?
Well, I like Josh Cook's transition here. I feel like Stevie Johnson dropped more catchable balls than the rest of the team combined.
More
And that-
memorable ones, yeah.
That
More
brings
memorable
us
ones. His number is almost the same exact as catch percentage as Eric Moulds.
that brings us to our second wide receiver that you guys voted in.
Yep.
Stevie Johnson. Now, this is not going to become a beat it up fest. I love Stevie Johnson. I absolutely love him. We did a cameo with him last year for the Rager. It made us feel very special and warm inside. He's a good dude. He was entertaining when most people were not entertaining. Again, I think it's the same thing with the Fitzpatrick deal when he was QB. I was, however, at that Steelers game where he dropped that ball in the end zone. But I was also at the Carolina Panthers home opener game when EJ threw the game winner to him. So I think the thing with Stevie for me is he'd had, 2,000-yard seasons back-to-back? That hasn't happened? 3. That hasn't happened yet because Diggs hasn't gotten his third one yet, right?
Right.
That's the comparison?
Mhm.
Stevie was a light when things were not going well here. I would bring it to that Cincinnati Bengals Why So Serious game. If you were not a fan of Stevie Johnson before that game would make you a fan of Stevie Johnson, I feel like. I listened to that on the radio when my truck broke down on my way back from Niagara Falls, Canada, on the thruway. And I was listening, and they were getting destroyed. And then picked it back up on my phone and listened to every play after that. And when I heard on the radio that he lifted his jersey with that Why So Serious on his T-shirt because the Batman and Robin thing, I lost my mind, dude. I'll be a Stevie Johnson fan for my whole entire life because that is the most theatric, beautiful thing that you could absolutely do when two dudes with big egos are came back on by little old Buffalo and Stevie Johnson, man. It was beautiful.
My best memory of Stevie Johnson is when he blew up Revis from the Jets.
Yeah.
You want to talk about, we have the best route runner in the NFL right now with Stephon Diggs. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
But if you want to see a game in technician about technique with your feet and how to get open on the island, watch this Stevie Johnson game against the New York Jets on Revis. He just blew him up. I think he had like 13 catches for 130 yards.
Mhm.
Oh, he owned Revis Island, man.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
it
his
wasn't
claim
just
to
one
fame.
game.
Yeah,
It wasn't
that
just
was,
one game.
That was all the time. Go ahead, buddy.
Stevie Johnson was one of those guys that was ahead of his time as well. I said that about Moulds with his side and with his size and his strength. The 3,000-yard seasons in a row from 2010 to 2012, the double moves on triple moves that he was putting on defensive backs was something that you see wide receivers doing now. I know Jarrod alluded to Stephon Diggs and his route running. Stevie Johnson was one of the best route runners during his years in Buffalo. And he was a spark. He was that guy that you love to love because of the drought and potentially. I mean, he ranked well in the votes, and he deserves to be number 2 at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right here to Rob Mullen's comment. Lee Evans is arguably a more productive wide receiver than Stevie, 1,500 plus yards in 2001, and came back after his ACL in 2002 and put up over 1,200 in 2003. I agree, man. I definitely thought that it was going to be Moulds and Evans. But like we said in the beginning of the show, man, the Fandemonium across all social media platforms voted with their heart. We had discussions in our little messenger group about how we couldn't believe it because, like, statistically, if you're looking at some of these guys, like, yeah, Bledsoe should have been number 1. You know, if you were just looking at hardline stats, right, Lee Evans and Moulds, that should have been a lock. You know, you could go on and on. I think that fun factor, that thing that like made you want to still be a Bills fan, or people that were like on that edge, or people that just needed some joy in their life during like those miserable years, that's where these votes come in, right? And it's not like Stevie was a bad player, man. I remember Chan doing press conferences talking about how, like, they just said, Stevie, get to this point. Like, that's how he would run routes, because he was such, like, a creative route runner. All he needed to do was get to this spot on the field at this time.
Right.
And he could do whatever he wanted to get there, but he had to get there, and he would. And that's how he owned Revis.
Right.
Like, because there was just nothing you could do to prepare for him. Like, like you said, he could do anything he wanted to as long as he got to that point in the field. So I don't think, like, none of this is like a slight on Lee Evans. We all love Lee Evans. I think, like I said, the names on the wall, man, Molds and Evans should both be up there in my book, 100%. Stevie's more of like a character player, like he doesn't have that long-term, like, longevity production to back up giving him that much support, but he'll be one of those Buffalo guys forever, man. Mm-hmm. Like, people will love him relentlessly until the end of football,
Yeah.
If you're a Bills fan. So
especially our age.
Yeah.
I think those Lee Evans stats might have been he didn't join the league until 2004. So that might have been Wisconsin stats. But he did have a productive year here with the Buffalo Bills. He had 1,000 yards receiving throughout the year. So Stevie Johnson still holds a little bit of a torch above Lee Evans. Lee Evans was just another one of those consistent guys who was here year in and year out.
Yep.
He had one game where he had 2 83-yard receptions in one game. So
Houston Texans.
Yeah, we remember those. So, Lee Evans, Eric Moulds, Stevie Johnsons are those guys that when times were rough, those are some guys we leaned on. And the Wall of Fame might have some hearts up there eventually.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we'll quick end the Lee Evans conversation on this. The numbers he put up, guys, he was primarily the number 2. And so he still had some pretty damn impressive numbers as far as that goes. His lowest season was 37, and that's before he retired the year afterwards. So the 1,000-yard receivings, the 5+ touchdowns, the 80+ yard receptions, and he averaged almost 16 yards a catch as a number 2. So that's, if you want to go top number 2, Steve, he'd be the number 2.
Yeah, he would be.
But we have 2 number 1s as number 1 and number 2 right now. But he for sure was dynamic for being a number 2 his whole career.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of good conversation going on. I love it. We don't all have to agree. It's okay. I mean, There was plenty.
We have
votes.
our favorites.
There was votes for people that, Donald Jones, I'm sure, So, like, let's we'll keep it pushing here. And
Eric Moulds, Stevie Johnson, honorable mention, Lee Evans. There we go.
There you go. We'll do that.
Perfect.
We love them all.
Absolutely.
Roscoe Parrish.
Roscoe, dude, I didn't love Roscoe. Oh my god.
He was like 5'4", 160 pounds.
Return man for the ages. I love Roscoe, man.
Yeah.
Real quick, just yes or no. Roscoe over McGee?
McGee, no. McGee over Roscoe.
Okay.
McGee was multi-facet. He could do it all. He had cornerback and kick returner.
Swank.
If you're going strictly returner, I'm going Roscoe.
Okay.
Just because of his
point.
name. Anyway,
Roscoe.
Fandemonium, the last person that you chose for your offense, skill position offense, was the snow shoveler, the big man himself, Mr. Scott Chandler. I mean, really, if you're looking at this, it's between him and Charles Clay, right? All day. Is
Jerry Mershma's been thrown in there too.
Yeah. Okay.
Jerry Mearsma is one hell of a player. He played with Thurman. He was a great blocking tight end. Shout out to my buddy Josh Cook. He's the guy that pulled this guy's name in there. He was his favorite player, I think. But he was a killer receiving tight end too. He could block and receive. So big Jerry Mearsma. He was a big guy. But yeah, Scott Chandler and Clay Charles are 2 other guys that could do damage too.
Just to back it up really fast, Patrick Hughes said this earlier too, man. Bobby Trees, Robert Woods. He is a unsung hero for that wide receiving core. I loved Robert Woods. I wish that he would have stayed or they could have figured it out. I love what they've done, obviously, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I do love me some Robert Woods. I would say
he was that possession slot wide receiver that took care of all the nonsense stuff over the middle. I was a big Robert Woods fan too.
that, and he wasn't afraid to block. Still is not afraid to block. I don't know how many years that guy's been in the league now, but he's like peaked in the later part of his career, which is insane.
That's another one of those players who was a great guy in the community. He was consistent here in Buffalo, but his career really took off when he left.
Yeah.
And as a lot of Buffalo Bills players' careers took off when they left during that era, wasn't an uncommon thing because of what was leading the way. So Robert Woods will be another favorite. Yep, number 10 there.
Absolutely.
He's still playing.
Yep.
So anyway, Scott Chandler, here we are. Jarrod, what do you got for Scott Chandler?
5 years for the Bills, Mr. Shovelman. He scored that touchdown after that huge snowstorm that shut down the thruway after exit 44 for a week. We went to the game 2 weeks after that, and I remember driving down the thruway and seeing all these deer like sleeping in the field because they had a rough time too. Easy for hunting season.
Jarrod,
but
they weren't sleeping. They froze to death being stuck in all that high snow.
Well, 182 receptions and 17 touchdowns. This guy could block, and he could also catch the ball when he was needed. He reminds me a lot of Lee Smith, one of the tight ends that we loved here at Buffalo. Got the job done blocking and caught it when he needed to. But Chandler was a little bit more of a memorable guy. We remember him more.
Memorable. Yeah.
Memorable. Did I say it right the first time? Probably. But, yep, I voted Jay Remiersma, but I'm not upset with the Scott Chandler pick.
Paul Rossi is with you, man. He would have went Jay Rhea every time over Chandler, he says. We also got our boy Robbie at Let's Talk 716 Sports saying, hey, Scott, Swank, Jarrod, go Bills. What's up, Robbie?
Hey,
What's
Robbie.
up, Robbie?
Thanks for checking in, buddy. Scott, what do you got to say?
I chose Scott Chandler, and mostly because he was reliable. Not only did he block, like Jarrod said, but the guy had like a 67% catching percentage, which is pretty amazing. And if you compare him to Jay Remiersma, played about the same. Remiersma played, I think, a whole season more, had a couple more catches, only about 100 more receiving more yards, and only 2 more touchdowns Jay Remiersma did. So Scott Chandler did it in a time during the drought. Remiersma had a lot more talent around him. But I'm going Chandler, 6'7", 270 pounds, I believe he was. Big guy. But like I said, I'll make it short. Blocked, 67% catching percentage. That's impressive to me.
He's a beast. He's a big man. I don't know. I loved him when he was here. Mike says, was that this November storm or the freak October storm? I just looked it up. It was the November storm. November 24th, 2014, guys.
Yeah.
8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yep.
Shut
Scott,
everything down.
Yeah. Scott was another one of those guys, man, that just, I don't know. You loved him. That celebration in Detroit, you're just like, it is what needed to happen at that time. Like, it was beautiful. I don't know. I think there was a lot to be made of, God, who was it? Who was our coordinator? Our defensive coordinator that just left the Lions.
Schwartz.
Schwartz. Yeah.
Schwartz.
Because remember they carried him out on their shoulders because they beat him. And like everybody was like, oh, yeah, big deal. Like, And I was like, it was a big deal for the Bills, man. It was a big deal for him. The players knew it. Like, they made a deal. Like, a big deal out of it. Like, shut up. That's how I feel about it. But, all right, Scooter, you want to go over what we had for offensive line here?
Yeah, we figured instead of putting a poll out every day, twice a day, we would pick the line for you guys. The only struggles we had, Mafia, join in if you want, was that right guard position. So without going over too much detail, maybe you guys could say something quick about it. Our left tackle, actually we'll start with right tackle with Peters. Swank, I know you didn't like Peters, but he was the best guy available there.
No, you're right.
Our right guard was a hard one to figure out. We could potentially go Eric Wood because he did play some time at right guard, but we have him locked down as our center. Eric Woods would be our center. Our left guard, Reuben Brown, a guy whose name should be on the circle, the Wall of Fame. And then do you guys remember who our left tackle was?
Mr.
John
Fina. Friend of the show, John Fina.
Yep. So that was our line. Craig Urbick, Brad Butler, Valerial. There's a bunch of names that potentially could be our right guard position. John, who's our guy that we drafted like in 2016?
Mills or Miller?
John Miller. Yep, potential. We couldn't figure out who we wanted for that guy. So go ahead, Mafia. Throw us out who you want as our right guard.
So right tackle again was who?
Right tackle is Jason Peters.
Jason Peters. Right guard blank.
Let's go Craig Urbick. Craig Urbick looked pretty good at that position.
Yeah.
Eric Woods is center. Ruben Brown is left guard. And then left tackle would have been John Fina. And guys, I got a quick follow-up question for you guys. I know we're running out of time. I want to know your guys' average win per season if our all-star team were to play in the NFL right now.
Quick jump in. Mike Vogt says, wasn't Fina before the drought? He did play before the drought, but he also played in 2000, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
He played 2 years in the drought, so he qualifies.
I had made that same question here, or posed that same question earlier today, and I got put right in my place, man, because the stipulation was between this date and that date, drought dates. So if you were on the roster between
2000 and 2016, yep, you qualify.
So 2000 and 2001, John Fina was on there, so he qualifies.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a great lineman in the heyday, but he was there, so we're going to take him. We'll take him. We got to add him.
I'm going pretty consistently 10 to 11 games a season we would win with that roster currently.
We got Kevin saying 10 games. I got to agree. I would think. I don't think it would be as high potent as what we got right now. But I think, yeah, you'd be right in contention. I think it would be better than a wild card. So you'd have, 10, 11. That's right where I'm at.
So if these guys came together in 2000 and played 2000 and 2001 together, I think 2002, 2003, and the next couple of years following, we would have been up to 12 or 13. With the potential that, the work ethic and the way they treated their teammates and stuff like that, who knows what this would have built together. You don't have the all-stars in there like everyone thought there was going to be, but you have the players that work hard and love the community, and they would have given everything for the Buffalo Bills Mafia and that Buffalo Bills team. So you put them together for 7 years. Those first 2 years would have been building, but those following ones would have been, 12, 13 wins.
This is an interesting point. Paul Rossi says 7 to 8 games today, 11 if they played together back in the day. I think that's fair.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
I might bump it 8 to 9. But I mean, it's a different game, man. It's way faster now. People are bigger. Bigger, stronger, faster, right? That's all it is. But I think that's an interesting take.
Mike Vogt said, what about House Ballard? He played, his last year was 98.
Yeah, he played for Seattle. He played for Seattle those last years. And Ken Hall was done in 96. I know Joey Hatch mentioned something like that. Josh Cook also mentioned the drought defense. This is what's going to make things difficult for next year, guys. Next week is we are doing the drought defense for next week, Josh Cook. So make sure you guys vote. That's going to be a lot more difficult. There are a lot more studs. I believe during that drought, the defense was pretty good, the offense, and that quarterback struggle, trying to find that quarterback was the issue over there. So,
yeah, weigh in on it, and then come here and make sure you get your voice heard, man. I love all the conversation that we had tonight. This is crazy. It was a great interactive time, and I think we probably ought to button it up. Probably ought to put a little bow on tonight. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sounds good to me.
So go ahead, Jarrod, Jarrod. Asked and answered. What do you got for us tonight, buddy?
For the closing thoughts, I'll mention that every week until it happens. The Buffalo Bills have Jim Kelly, Andrew Reed, Thurman Thomas, James Lofton in the Hall of Fame. We got some guys that still need to be in there. Kent Hall, House Ballard, Jim Rickard, Glenn Parker. John Davis, I'm going to miss a couple. John Fina. Those guys were in the heyday in the 90s, late 90s. They were there. Who do I miss? Steve Tasker, obviously. I think that goes without saying.
Oh, okay.
I don't need him. Yeah. So those guys, they blocked for those guys in the Hall of Fame. There's no reason why they shouldn't be there. So the 49 on the Hall of Fame committee, I know, again, you're tuning in tonight, I can tell. Get them guys in there. And see you next Tuesday. We talk about this defense.
You.
Yep.
Scooter Magooter.
Scooter Magooter, our friend Mark Maddox put out a post recently. He's spreading it all over the Mafia. One of our favorite linebackers, Darryl Talley, lost his father this past week. And on behalf of Mark Maddox and the Help One Foundation, they're going to raise some money. And that money is going to go to a charity of Darryl Talley's liking. And we will be putting money towards a charity. They've got it all over the sites. It's $5.60 per donation, or you could donate 15 spots for $56. And what it's doing, it's going to enter you to win either a Talley jersey or a Talley towel, but it also is helping out for a good cause. Sorry for Darryl Talley's loss. Our condolences. But Mark Maddox is turning it into a positive thing, and check him out. Help One Foundation, Mark Maddox, for the Darryl Talley, Mr. Talley's foundation there.
Hell yeah. Kevin, our boy Kevin, he put my final thought right on a platter for me. He says, "Are you putting the September 3rd info on your page?" Yes, sir, we are. It'll be here in the next, I'll guarantee in the next 2 weeks, that event will be made, if not sooner. Scooter and I are going to get together, and it'll be beautiful, and you should absolutely come. All of you should come. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to do a show. We're going to hang out with some super fans. We're going to toss some cornhole bags. We're going to do all sorts of stuff. And then hang out. I'm going to play some music at the end of the night. It'll be a great time. After hours, wee morning, wake up on a roof. I don't know. I don't know.
Wake up through some tables. Who knows?
Man, who knows? Yeah, man, it's going to be a great time. And really, we would love to see or meet any of you guys. It would make our whole season. And that being said, you can catch us any Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here for the K-Gun Report, brought to you by 24/7 Buff Fandemonium. Me, Scott, Jarrod, all over the place. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. No. So come hang for the show for sure. I want to let you guys know I finally started logging this season. So the last episode of the K-Gun Report from last week is now on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts. You can listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. This one will be up this week as well. So please continue to comment, continue to follow, continue to like, subscribe, tell your friends. Slip it to your don't slip it to your ex-wife or your ex-husband, but slip it to everybody else you know. You know what I mean? We love you guys, and go Bills, man.
See you next Tuesday. Go Bills.
Absolutely. See you next Tuesday. Go Bills.
Go.
Bills.
This is a dangerous